In terms of the documents I have to manage, it has taken away my most hated part of my job.
We've had a quick look at a snapshot over the last few months to see how much time we think it's saved. Cut the admin downtime on average, pro-rated, probably around 2 to 3 months.
We did rough calculations based on the time that we've been using the system already. And over a year, it's a minimum of 30,000 that we're going to save.
I'm a director at TD Construction Testing. We are a construction materials testing laboratory.
We set up in 2013, decided we'd go on our own because we were sick of being at somebody else's mercy.
This year's a big year for us, celebrated our 10th anniversary at the start of the year, implemented the tablet system.
I contacted maybe 3 or 4 other companies, just Googled digital forms and just started going down the list. I asked them the questions. Can you transfer the forms from one group of people to another, back again? Can you do graphs? You said, yes, of course we can do graphs. Of course you can move your data from one person to another. Of course you can have it going from A to B to C to back to A, just however you want to do it. And of course you have full control over how things are built. That's exactly what I need. You're for me. Yay!
We're probably currently producing in excess of 10,000 test reports a year.
We've got most of the site tests on the tablet.
We wanted to try and get into the digital system for a long time.
Before it was basically paper for worksheets, just printed off.
Each technician would have to carry a file full of worksheets. Then they would also have to carry a folder just for the procedures that they may need to refer to if they forget something or they're a bit unsure. Again, one for every single procedure that they carry out. And on top of that, they would also have to carry all the health and safety documentation, so the generic risk assessments, and these are the folders that I would have to update that could be anywhere in the country. And now they just carry one tablet.
One of the big things for us as well was retention of the data and the information. So there's no concerns about documents getting lost, misplaced. What we found with forms2 is things don't get lost. If something's not where you think it was, you can always go back onto the back office side of things and find that document.
I've only done half of what I need to do with this system yet. I've got people queuing up for me to make them forms for things that I never even thought I would need to make. I wouldn't really say that I have a particularly IT technical background, but I was okay on Excel. There were so many similarities, it was very, very easy to just go from one to the other. So the first thing I need is they need to detail what the client is, so I need a text field. They also need to record what site they're on. So within a few minutes I've made a form. The field team will have this very shortly. All I've got left to do is just attach the output report, and then as soon as the field team have finished the test results, the report will be generated, and it literally took a few minutes. It's got drop-down boxes so they can select the right equipment. Any calculations will be done. The technician doesn't need to do that. And all the data will be accurate and laid out how we need it.
The benefit of using these tablets for work like this, not only is it easier to navigate and easier to, because it sets up all the columns for you and all that you need, it's just easier to type rather than write if you're in a situation like this.
Well, the key thing was to just improve turnaround the results and efficiency, It's easier to report some of the tests. A lot of the tests have a lot of data.
The benefits is I think it's a very easy system to use.
So we can have things reported, checked, signed off within minutes, whereas previously it could take weeks.
When you've got a paper form, you have a list of things and you have boxes. All the boxes don't get filled in. But the one thing about the forms is you can set it so that they must fill the box in before they can go to the next stage.
Previously we used paper, and for this sort of test, when you were doing it on paper, it would take quite a while. Whereas on the tablet now, it's just click, write it in, click, write it in. It takes less than half the time.
The site technicians, they love it. They hated having to carry all the files. They hated having to bring them back to me when I had to update them. And of course, they've now got a gadget, so what's not to love?
It does all the calculations for you, so you're not using a calculator to try and do your calculations. Just fill it in and it'll automatically do it for you.
In the short period we've been running the system for the site operations, so we feel we've probably reduced the admin role as it was down to about 80%, which has created a sort of the new admin role.
Even if you think you can't do something, they will find you a way.
So and what we've found since implementing it in January, we found the new features. You can add extra bits in there, extra buttons.
Absolutely amazing support. There is nothing, I can't say a bad word about it at all.
Everything's instant and quick. You can set it up to suit your specific needs.
Fire off an email asking a question and it's answered within a few hours. And it's not even just a case of only looking at it in a few hours. They've come up with a solution in that time as well. I'm supposed to take care of all the quality issues, document control, auditing all the procedures, making sure that we comply with our accreditation.
I mean, UKAS, the United Kingdom Accreditation Service, they like it because everything's visible to them, you know. You don't have to go and hunt out a sheet.
In terms of the documents I have to manage, it has taken away my most hated part of my job. Obviously, there's a lot of time saving, which converts to money saving as well. We did like rough calculations based on the time that we've been using the system already. And over a year, it's a minimum of 30,000 that we're going to save. That doesn't even factor in any sort of fuel costs. It doesn't take into account any environmental impact that we've now reduced because of the less travel that the technicians have to make.
It is a really good system. I wouldn't want our competitors using this, to be honest with you.